The collapse of the Soviet Union in the early 1990s left the United States as the sole superpower, and it has never looked back. In every aspect, the U.S. truly stands as a global leader, especially in terms of military strength, which is unmatched in capability, technology, operations, and power projection around the world. In this video, we'll examine 5 key reasons why no one should risk going toe-to-toe with the U.S. military establishment. 1. Air dominance. The United States Air Force, USAF, stands unrivaled, not just in the sheer number of operational aircraft, but in its technological superiority as well. Across all branches, Air Force, Navy, Army, Coast Guard, and Marines, the U.S. operates over 15,000 military aircraft. As of 2017, the USAF alone boasted more than 5,300 aircraft, 406 intercontinental ballistic missiles, and 170 military satellites, figures no other nation can match. The U.S. also leads the world in stealth aircraft, silent killers virtually invisible to enemy radar. These include air superiority fighters like the F-22 Raptor and F-35 Lightning II, as well as heavy bombers like the B-2 Spirit. In fact, the U.S. pioneered stealth technology in the 1980s with the introduction of the F-117 Nighthawk. Stealth aircraft reduce radar signatures so drastically that a massive B-2 bomber has roughly the same radar cross-section as an F-22, about the size of a bumblebee. This makes detecting, tracking, and targeting these jets extremely difficult, allowing the U.S. Air Force to maintain air superiority in any conflict. 2. Naval power and supercarriers. Another reason not to challenge the U.S. military is the unmatched strength of its Navy. With 11 nuclear-powered Nimitz-class supercarriers, the U.S. commands the largest and most technologically advanced carrier fleet on the planet. Each supercarrier, essentially a floating airport and small city combined, can carry up to 70 aircraft. But it's the carrier strike group formation that makes these ships even deadlier. A carrier never sails alone. It's always surrounded by guided missile cruisers, destroyers, attack submarines, and support vessels. While the carrier projects offensive air power forward, these escort ships shield its flanks, creating a nearly impenetrable defense. The U.S. maintains 9 such strike groups, 8 based in the U.S., and 1 forward deployed in Japan. For over half a century, these groups have formed the backbone of U.S. power projection at sea, and the upcoming Gerald R. Ford-class carriers will keep this dominance going well into the late 21st century. 3. ICBMs and nuclear arsenal. A third reason to think twice before engaging the U.S. military is its massive stockpile of nuclear and conventional intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs. Part of the U.S. nuclear triad, alongside submarine-launched ballistic missiles and strategic bombers, ICBMs can be launched from silos, achieving suborbital spaceflight before releasing multiple nuclear warheads that descend upon targets at hypersonic speeds. Currently, the U.S. fields 400 ICBMs, all of them Minuteman III missiles, a design continuously upgraded since the 1960s. These state-of-the-art ICBMs boast a range exceeding 8,000 miles and can carry multiple 330-kiloton warheads, each independently targetable. Any adversary challenging the U.S. must contend with this formidable, always-ready arsenal. 4. Precision-guided munitions, PGMs. If stealth aircraft or ICBMs aren't raining destruction, then precision-guided munitions, PGMs, likely will. PGMs are smart bombs used across all U.S. military branches. Designed for pinpoint accuracy, They ensure a small fraction of launched ordnance can produce most of the successful hits. In the Gulf War, for example, PGMs were just 9% of weapons fired, but accounted for 75% of successful strikes. The U.S. relies heavily on PGMs, guided primarily by GPS. Even as GPS-related challenges arise, the military invests in new technologies, like the Moving Target Artillery Round, MTR, that can strike moving targets without GPS. Such innovations ensure the U.S. maintains a decisive advantage in artillery and aerial precision strikes. 5. Drone warfare. The fifth reason is America's rapidly advancing drone warfare capabilities. Initially used for surveillance, drones were soon weaponized after 9/11 and have proven invaluable in the war on terror. Looking ahead, the U.S. plans to acquire over 1,000 combat drones of various types. Cutting-edge models like the Lockheed Martin RQ-170 Sentinel and the Boeing MQ-25 Stingray will eventually offer multi-role capabilities, including attack missions and aerial refueling. Drones can loiter for hours at high altitudes, waiting for the perfect moment to strike, all while reducing the risk to human pilots. As drone technology matures, every branch of the U.S. military will become less reliant on manned platforms, maintaining superiority in future conflicts. Conclusion. These 5 factors, air dominance, naval power, nuclear might, precision-guided munitions, and advanced drone warfare, make the U.S. military an incredibly formidable force. In a conventional war, challenging its might would be nearly impossible. This reality forces potential adversaries to rely on asymmetric tactics, but even then, the United States remains the world's most powerful military force, likely for decades to come. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated on the latest military innovations, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. You'll be the first to know when we release new content.